I mean, wow, at this point, lock Dana Bash up too, okay? I mean, has she not learned her lesson? I mean, seriously, they need to start pressing these Democrats the way they press the Republicans. I'm going to say that again. They need to press the Decepticonocrats the way they press the Republicans. I mean, she's going against Hulk Homan here. What makes you think you're going to win? You know, it's just, I just don't get it. But anyway, shout out to the King Squad. I hope everybody's having a great and awesome day. Smash the like button. Hit subscribe. We're on the road to 200,000 subscribers. A lot of great stuff here. Shout out to Hulk Homan out here conquering. And, yeah, you know, we got Sith Lord Dana Bash out here who just likes being bashed. So let's get right into the video. Let's go.
Directly, you met on Thursday with the New York mayor, and he announced then that he would give ICE agents access to the prison on Rikers Island. You called that a game changer. A few days before Adams made that announcement, the Justice Department instructed prosecutors to drop federal corruption charges against him. It sounds like the DOJ dropped the case against Adams, and in exchange, he let you into Rikers. Is that what happened?
No, I think that's ridiculous. Me and Mayor Adams met a couple months ago. I think it was probably eight, 9 weeks ago we met. We had the same discussion. And we talked about getting a presence in Rikers Island. We talked about how we can collaborate on public safety threats and finding the missing children that can't be found after they release their sponsors. And we had that a couple months ago, long before this other discussion. So I don't think it had anything to do with it. Matter of fact, the meeting was very well. It was the same meeting we had a few weeks ago. The reason we had the follow-up meeting because there's no action being done. So we follow up on how we can get some of this stuff in place, and that's what the meeting Thursday was about.
Right. I mean, you absolutely have been honest about the fact that you met with Adams before. In December, I think it was. You came away from that meeting really unsatisfied. What changed between then and now other than the Department of Justice dropping the case against Adams?
No, I didn't come out of that meeting unsatisfied. I was after several weeks, I was taken back that we hadn't gotten any action on that yet about getting to Rikers Island. So we rescheduled a meeting to talk. Okay, well, we talked about what things we need to put in place, how we can make this happen. So let's get going. Let's take some steps forward, and that's what the meeting Thursday about. And we came out Thursday with a plan. And how we can get in Rikers Island in the criminal intelligence division, so we get an understanding of who's in there, who's foreign born in the Rikers Island. That's a significant public safety threat. We also talked about how we can collaborate on the missing children, many that are being in New York City, and that's what we talked about. I really don't think had anything to do with whatever's going on in the Justice Department. We never talked about that. It's kind of out of my lane. I've been talking to the mayor for months about getting in Rikers Island, and that's what we talked about.
Yeah, and I totally understand you do not work in the Department of Justice, but you do work in the broader Trump administration. And, you know, just as somebody who is in law enforcement, you call yourself a cop, just looking at the series of events, sir, the fact that you didn't get what you wanted, you came away not sure why he wasn't doing what you wanted him to do, particularly with opening Rikers. The Department of Justice gets rid of the charges against him, and then poof, he agrees.
Look, the first meeting, if you look at my interview after the first meeting, I said to the whole world, I've called that mayor out for a couple of years because I didn't think he was doing the right thing as far as public safety threats. And that first meeting back in December, I said to everybody that interviewed me, for the first time I saw the cop in him. I saw the cop come out of him. He talked about how he wants public safety threats removed from New York City. He wants illegal alien crime to decrease in New York City, and there's a way we should collaborate on that. We agreed that he doesn't want to be an immigration officer. I don't want him to be an immigration officer. We agreed on that. Well, I just want him to help me with the public safety threats, leave immigration enforcement to us. So it was a great meeting. Just the actions following up that meeting were slow to happen. That's why I requested a second meeting to find out what more do we need to do to get some of this stuff in place. So I just think, you know, people are making a lot about nothing. I mean, again, I went up there as the ICE director, now the borders are, and we collaborated on how to move illegal alien crime, decrease it down in New York City, and find the worst of the worst. And that's what we talked about. It was cop to cop, not borders are to mayor, cop to cop. And we talked about the public safety threats and how they should be removed from our communities. And that's what was in the conversation.
I want to read you what the Deputy Attorney General, Emile Beauvais, said.
Before we go further with this video, I just want to say shout out to Hulk Homan in enemy territory, CNN, aka Certainly Not News, Crap News Network. Cap News Network at that. And yeah, you know, with watching Dana bash so far, it's very like habitual with her that she's just, you know, she's looking for that gotcha moment. I can see it in her eyes. They're like, where are the cracks in your armor, Homan? Like, it's like, do you see her eyes? I mean, is it just me? Or is it like, I don't know if it's like a narcissistic stare or something like that. Or maybe she, you know, maybe she should be on the spew or something. I don't know with the rest of those witches. But yeah, you know, she's not really trying to hear him. And this is where you start to see that the Democrats really don't want safety. You know, it's like they don't get that if you do the crime, you do the time. It's like they just don't understand that coming in here illegally is illegal. And that's the biggest thing that we keep seeing with these interviews and them questioning Homan and him remaining, you know, knowledgeable and stoic through it all and still consistently doing these interviews too. You know, I'd probably, you know, get very tired of being asked the same question from these people who struggle with comprehension personally. But hey, shout out to Homan. And it's great that he's doing it because you got a lot of people who are misinformed, being misinformed from the left. You know, the left is over here trying to instill fear in the public, saying Trump is the little mustache man. He's taking away people's rights, and we're living in the apocalypse. That's what they're trying to instill fear into the Americans with thinking. But that's not it at all. Like, do you not like a more affordable economy? Like, do you not like, you know, America being safe again? Like, do you not like having a healthier America? I mean, granted, this stuff is going to take time. Of course, we're still being unbidden by what has been, but you know, the stuff that they're saying is just absolute, just, you know, insane to me. The stuff that I hear come out their mouths these days. But that's just me. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Let's go.
As he ordered the case to be dismissed without prejudice, he said the matter shall be reviewed following the November 2025 mayoral election, meaning DOJ could bring the charges back. In an interview with Fox, you and the mayor sat side by side. I want to play for our viewers what you said there.
Now I got him on the couch in front of millions of people. He can't back waving us now, right? So I think you're going to see things moving in the right direction. If he doesn't come through, I'll be back in New York City, and we won't be sitting on the couch. I'll be in his office, up his butt, saying, where the hell is the agreement we came to?
I mean, that's a pretty direct message, sir, that Adam needs to play ball when it comes to immigration.
Look, she thinks she's got him. I tell you.
Well, finish playing the tape. There's more to that tape. This is two cops talking. We're talking cop. I mean, once you're a cop, you never lose that language. We had a great time in the meeting before, busting at each other. That was a joke. And if you play the tape further, he laughs, immediate response, well, I'm going to hold you accountable too. I'll hold ICE accountable, get what they did done. I'm telling him I need you to come through on your promise. He responds to me that I need to come through on mine. So this is a conversation between two cops having a good time.
What is your promise?
And people are making a lot out of nothing.
What is your promise, sir?
My promise is I'm not going to ask those officers to be immigration officers. I'm not going to push them to enforce immigration law. I told them I want to arrest the bad guy. I want to arrest the public safety threats. I want to get Rikers Island so we can get the public safety threat before they're released to the street. I want his help, especially the NYPD intelligence unit, who's the finest intelligence apparatus in the world, to help me find missing children. There are probably many are in forced labor, many are going to be in forced sex trafficking. Not all of them, but many of them. And that's a promise I made to him. Do you do law enforcement stuff? Help me get the public safety threats into children. I'm never going to ask you to arrest an illegal alien, and that is my promise. Not to make them immigration officers, but make them cops working with cops.
Yes, sir.
If he doesn't do the things that you want him to do, would you be okay with DOJ reopening its investigation into him? Should they do that?
That's out of my lane. I'm a border czar. I care about the border. So let DOJ do what they do. I care about removing public safety threats from the country. That's President Trump's promised the American people.
Adam says that you aren't looking into New York schools or churches as you hunt for undocumented immigrants. Did you make that commitment to him?
What me and Mr. Adams talk about is telling the truth. that the left has tried to scare the American people. We ended the sense of location policy for one reason, because we're the only federal law enforcement agency that had those type of requirements. What I made clear to Mayor Adams is that we're not raiding schools, we're not raiding churches, we're not raiding college campuses. But if we have a significant public safety threat, or national security, that let's say, for instance, an MS-13 member who's a senior in the high school, who's wanted for drug distribution or strong arm robberies, we will go to that school and arrest that MS-13 member with the help of the local authorities. It's not about raiding schools, it's about arresting one bad guy where we know he is and not let him escape back into the community. That's what discussion we had.
I just want to take this conversation more broad and talk about how it's going so far with the president's promise, multiple promises on immigration and deportation. You've said roughly 14,000 migrants have been arrested in the first month of this administration, and that's well below the 1,500 daily arrests that the president says he wants to see. You're getting support from across the federal government, from the FBI, from DEA, from U.S. Marshals, even the military. What's the struggle? Why are you struggling to get those arrests where President Trump wants them?
Well, we got to remember the interior arrests conducted by ICE in the interior of the United States is 2.5 times higher than they were a year ago during the Biden administration. So ICE is doing a great job. I'm not happy with the numbers because we got a lot of criminals to find. So what we're talking about right now, we're increasing the number of teams, increase the targeting, the division of ICE that creates a target list of, finding who these people are, what their criminal history is, and where we're most likely to find him. We got to increase the targeting production. So we're doing that now. We're increasing the targeting. We're increasing the teams out there in the field. And finally, I'll be honest with you, sanctuary cities are causing us a lot of work. And rather than arresting a bad guy in Rikers Island, we have to go to the neighborhood and find them, find people that don't want to be found. It is hard because rather than one man arresting one bad guy in a jail, we got to send a whole team to the field to find somebody that doesn't want to be found. And so it's hard work, but we're not giving up. We're coming. Again, the numbers are a lot higher than the Biden administration, but we got to do more. And I've been real clear on that. And that's why we're making the operational changes now that I've requested.
I just want to say right there, shout out to Homan for really breaking that down because, leave it to the Democrats, the Democrats, the demon craps, right? Leave it to them. They'll have you thinking that, oh no, Homan's, he's arresting grandmoms and grandmothers and nieces and nephews and babies. Oh my. And he's throwing them across the gate of the border and he's just, tearing America apart and they're just separating families and the whole world is collapsing. And, they just emotional terrorism at its finest, instill fear, that's what they do. They just play off emotions. And while I'm at it, well, let me finish my first point. Shout out to Homan for really breaking that down, that these are, calculated missions. Everything is strategic is what I'm getting at. Okay. Leave it to the Democrats. They just, they'll have you thinking that, they're just arresting anybody, anybody of a certain descent is getting thrown across the border. That's not the case at all. And then, while we're at it, can we please get this activist out of here? I mean, please, seriously, I can't believe that she's still considered a journalist. Who hired this person? They need to be fired too, along with her. I mean, seriously, somebody get her out of here because it's the same thing. It's just over and over again. Do you guys see it? Let me know if you see it. Drop down below in the comments what you guys think. Shout out to the King Squad. Smash the like button. Let's get back into the video.
Arresting a bad guy in Rikers Island, we have to go to the neighborhood and find people.
You went after Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for hosting a webinar for immigrants called Know Your Rights with ICE. I want to play what you said.
Is that impeding our law enforcement efforts? If so, what are we going to do about it? Is she crossing the line? So I'm working with the Department of Justice and finding out where is that line that they cross. So maybe AOC is going to be in trouble now.
Are you suggesting that she should be prosecuted?
I'm suggesting, and I'd ask the Department of Justice, where's that line on impeding, right? It's a broad statute. So I know impeding with someone stopping in front of me and putting their hands on my chest so you're not coming in here and arrest that guy, that's clearly impeding. But at what line, where's the line on impeding? So I'm asking the Department of Justice, who are the prosecutors, and decide who they prosecute and what the standards of that prosecution is. I simply says, at what point is that impeding? Because you can call it know your rights all you want. We all know what the bottom line is. The bottom line is how they invade law enforcement. Don't open your door. Don't answer questions. Here's what we're talking about. We're talking about people here in the country legally with a criminal conviction who had due process at great taxpayer expense and were ordered deported by a federal judge, but became a fugitive. And we're talking about don't open your door to ICE. You know, you don't have to answer questions. I think it's more about how to invade law enforcement, not to get arrested, even though there's a federal warrant for your arrest. How to evade that rather than know your rights. Now, we can argue about that all day long.
Wow. You know, lots to unpack there. Shout out to Hulk Homan for just coming through and dropping that heat, okay? And, yeah, we got the Riddler over here. Oh, my bad. Maybe the Joker. Which one is more suiting, okay? The Joker over here, you know, who is it? Harley Quinn? Maybe that name fits better. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. You guys let me know what you think. But, yeah, she's just looking for a gotcha moment, you know, very vindictive, very, you know, just trying to test him, push his buttons, all that kind of stuff. And she does this over and over again. You know, this is why nobody watches CNN anymore. Cap News Network, Crap News Network, certainly not news. Well, I can't say the other ones. But anyways, yeah, drop down your best CNN names in the comments. And, yeah, you know, it's like, you got to be kidding me. I really think that, you know, CNN ultimately is just garbage. and then on top of that, did you guys even notice? Look at CNN watching Fox. They know their news isn't legit, so they got to sit here and, you know, dissect Fox News and sit here and come up with clips to make it look just like fake. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm seeing it, guys. We're seeing it. You guys are seeing it. You know, they think we're dumb. We're not dumb. We were not born yesterday. And that's just what it's going to be. That's just what it is. So, yeah, we're going to keep calling out the hypocrisy and the lies. How does liberal hive mind say it? The abundant hypocrisy from the left. Shout out to liberal hive mind. But, yeah, we're going to keep calling this stuff out. And these people are ridiculous. It's just very sickening to see them try to defend these illegals. I mean, I just get it. You're either for America or not. Pick a side, Dana. I mean, seriously. And at this point, Tom, don't even waste your time with this activist. Just let J.D. Vance destroy her over and over again. I mean, seriously. Just let J.D. Vance do his Thanos snap and completely obliterate her. You know, that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Shout out to the King Squad. Hope everybody's having a great and awesome day. Thank you for all donations. Thank you for everyone who keeps me updated in emails. And we're back. Let's go. Peace.